Welcome back, architects. This is appArchitect, and I'm Raheem Kareem, here to help you level up your application design skills. Today, we're adding a third layer to our blueprint and breaking down the three-tier architecture, the backbone of scalable and secure systems. Let's build. The three-tier architecture introduces an application layer between the client and the database. Here's the breakdown of the three. Number one, the presentation layer, the user-facing interface like a web app or a mobile app. Number two, the application layer, the middleman that processes business logic like a Node.js server or an API. And number three, the database layer, where your data is stored and managed. This structure improves scalability, enhances security, and separates concerns, making it a go-to choice for enterprise systems and modern apps.
If you're ready to scale your apps while keeping things organized and efficient, this is the architecture you need to master. Now, let's break things down with this trusty arcade blueprint. Here it is, the classic three-tier architecture. It's a foundational design pattern that separates your application into three distinct layers or tiers. Each of these tiers has its own responsibilities, and together they create a scalable, maintainable, and robust application. Each of these tiers has its own responsibilities, and together they create a scalable, maintainable, and robust application. The presentation tier. This is your front-facing user interface. Think of it as the gateway for your users. It could be a website, a mobile app, or any other interface where users interact with your application. Its job is simple: display information and capture user inputs. The application logic tier. Here is where the magic happens. This tier is your application's brain. It processes the user inputs, executes the business logic, and decides what data to retrieve or update. This separation ensures that your logic is reusable and independent of the user interface. And finally, the backbone of it all, the data tier. This is your database or data storage layer, where all the information lives. It's responsible for securely storing, managing, and retrieving data when the logic tier calls for it. This is your database or data storage layer, where all the information lives. It's responsible for securely storing, managing, and retrieving data when the logic tier calls for it. So why is the three-tier architecture so powerful? For one, each tier can be scaled independently as your user base grows. It also offers improved security as you can isolate sensitive data in the data tier. And of course, it's highly maintainable, making it easier to debug and update your app without impacting the entire system.
Now, let's visit AWS to see how to deploy this architecture. AWS Elastic Beanstalk is an excellent tool for hosting the application layer while managing databases with RDS.
All right, architects, it's time to bring the three-tier architecture to life. And what better way to do that than with AWS? Let's dive in. First things first, what is AWS Elastic Beanstalk? It's a fully managed service that helps you deploy and scale web applications and services. With Elastic Beanstalk, you can focus on your application code and AWS takes care of the rest. Provisioning resources, balancing loads, monitoring, and more. Here's the AWS Elastic Beanstalk page. As you can see, it's all about simplifying the deployment process. And look, they even have a quick video tutorial right here, getting started with AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Let's check it out for a bit. This short video walks you through launching an application using Elastic Beanstalk and the AWS Management Console. It's a step-by-step guide, so even if you're a beginner, you'll feel right at home. Now, let me show you how easy it is to get started. Here's my AWS Management Console. When I go to Elastic Beanstalk, I can see my projects and create a new one with just a few clicks. The interface is super intuitive, making it perfect for beginners and advanced users alike. But that's all for my walkthrough. Now it's your turn, architects. Try creating your own project in Elastic Beanstalk and see how seamless the process is.
And that's how you create a robust three-tier architecture. With this setup, your applications can handle growth and complexity like a pro. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in for the final episode, where we'll compare 2-tier and 3-tier architectures and explore modern approaches like no-code platforms. See you soon, architects.